Hey, this is Dylan with Gallagher Automotive. So today we're going to be taking a look at a couple different vehicles. One, we're going to be taking a look at my sister's 1992 Mazda Navajo. It's randomly stalled on her, but then I drove it an hour and a half back with no issues. So we're just going to be going through cleaning the connections and stuff like that, as well as putting the back hatch on it that we found and a couple other things. And then we're also going to be going through my 2006 Lincoln Mark LT. Today we are going to be checking for the exhaust leak. So for checking the exhaust leak, my original plan was to start the truck and just kind of stuff a rag in the exhaust, not to block everything, but to block a lot of the gases from escaping so that I can hopefully hear it better. But I decided to look up some other people's methods, and Chris Fix had an excellent idea using a shop vac, and I'm going to use that first. So basically the concept is that you plug your shop vac hose into the back of the vacuum so that it's pushing air out, and then you connect that to the tailpipe, tape it up so it's got a seal, and then turn it on and check for leaks using some soapy water. Alright, so I knew about this one. There's a big hole right there where that bracket broke off. So I was aware of that one. I was also aware of this one. There's some slight cracking on the bottom of this muffler, and then on the very top of the muffler, right up here. Let me see, we don't need these anymore, so let me see about taking these off for you. Can you see that little hole on top? So we got one there, we got this cracking down there. This, honestly, it kind of looks like he hit a bump with it, cracked it, and then that allowed water to get in. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to repair this one up here. These both can be fixed pretty easily without replacing these items. It's this one down here. Let me show this one to you. I was aware of this one. Look at that deliciousness. You can even still see part of the exhaust on this guy here. The real trouble is actually going to be the exhaust manifold that's sitting right behind this spring setup here that does not move. So I don't, you know, thinking about it, I don't quite know how I'm going to go about this yet. But I can tell you for sure we're going to take this tire off and take the inner fender well off and go from there. Alrighty, so we got both of these little wiring harnesses out of here, as well as the hose. Reason being is on the new hatch I actually snipped those three. So we're going to pull the good wiring harness out of the old one, and then I am beginning to unplug just about everything. I'm basically just going to be carefully unplugging these, cleaning them, and putting them back together and making sure it's all tight. In fact, I can see here already this one's missing a clip right here, so I'm going to be extra careful with this side and make sure that it's extra clean and making good contact. I'll also look for loose wires, you know, stuff that looks frayed, stuff like that. I did already find a vacuum leak right back here. That's why I didn't have exactly the right hose to use. That's why I've got it loosely zip tied together so that it doesn't kink. But that stuff should work. However, I don't think that vacuum leak was the cause of our issue. Alright, so we're here under the hood of the 1992 Mazda Navajo. I'm here with Bendy Screwdriver. We've been taking care of business today. It's another day. I kind of had to leave yesterday. I just got some business stuff done. But we're back here in the shop. What we've already gotten done is this for the throttle position sensor here. This clip was corroded on both ends just a little bit, and it's only got one side of the clip, and I know it looks lifted because of this zip tie I put in there. However, it's natural height. It's kind of bent out, so it was loose and corroded, probably corroded due to being loose, but I took that out, cleaned it, it's secure. I've cleaned every other connection under here, this guy, all of them. We also discovered, this is what I wanted to show you. Look at this. Can you see that? Can you see all these splits here? We've got some on this clip as well, if I can get it. So you see both of these wires are split. These guys are all split. And what that is, the reason being is the electrical taping ended right about here, and all this has been exposed to the constant power steering fluid leak that these get. Those exposed wires have just been constantly coated in oil, and that's caused the coatings to degrade. I'm going to be trimming both of these to down to about here. So I'm going to be trimming both of those. This red wire that just loops back around, I'm going to completely replace. I do believe I've got this gauge wire. And then every other connection's been cleaned and checked, so we're going to fix this and take it for a drive. Another root beer break here. But I'll show you. So this little clip goes in between all of those guys and kind of holds them in place. And then if you can see, if it'll focus, there's little clips for each wire, for each prong. So the plan is to unclip the prongs, pull them out the back, try my darndest to pry up those original prongs, and then put a new wire in there, clamp them back down, and be good to go. We have finished mangling the wires. There is layers of electrical tape, heat shrink, and electrical tape, and more heat shrink within all of this, but they've all been repaired. Okay, I guess sit tight and I'll fire it up. You can make sure it runs. We did just undo like majority of the major electrical connections. Well, that's weird. Our power steering pulley or pump, because I can make it go away by putting it. So, sprung a coolant leak. I noticed my squeaky belt went away, which was nice, and then the smell of coolant showed up. So belt noise go away, and coolant showed up. I'm pretty sure it was leaking from kind of, honestly I think she might need a radiator, but I won't know for sure. It looked like it was spritzing out that way. It's somewhere in this general vicinity is where I saw the leak earlier. Well, the coils are clean. That's nice. Anyway, I'm sure coolant's good for my new wires. We're just getting these introduced materials used to the kind of life it should expect, having all sorts of fluids and stuff. It's bad to breathe this. Basically, this is real life torture test. Because in real life, unexpected things happen.
You want to tell them how far we made it?
We made it about a half a mile. Mile, no, maybe.
The shop is literally right over there.
Maybe a mile. We maybe made it a mile. You know, I just noticed, boy, belt squeal went away real quick. And then a second or two after that, I smelled a hint of coolant. So I pulled over, checked. Honestly, I think we're gonna walk and get the excursion.
Tow it?
No, just get some cold fluid.
Oh.
All right, boys and girls. The planioli is to take a hike. All right, let's go ahead and put some water in and see if it starts leaking from somewhere. In fact, an experience with an F-150 with a blown heater core caused me to hate the smell of coolant. Boss was like, oh, just put some of that sealant in there. Oh, I can hear some. Oh, there it is. Get a shot of right there. There it is.
You probably have some hose like that just at the shop.
Long hose. What a weird spot.
It's
just old and split.
That's just where it decided it wanted to explode. Better you than your sister, I guess.
Let's try to get her home. It's gonna be. That's risky. There's that like gear oil smell too. Where's that coming from?
Gears.
our most revolutionary high-tech product, motor sauna. Get things nice and clean.
There was like 7 different accents. Well, we did that shit literally all the way from over there.
Yeah, just like a hop and a skip that way. The Navajo is all finished up. The new hoses are on. The motor seems to be running great. No issues whatsoever there as far as a loss of power or stalling or anything that she was experiencing. Personally, I think it had to do with the corrosion in the throttle position sensor. There was just a little bit, but enough that I think that was the issue with the stalling. Either that, or it could have been those broken wires as well. It could have been either or. But all of the connections under the hood, for the most part, have been taken apart and cleaned. The next video is going to be on the awesome surprise exhaust leak that we found on the Lincoln Mark LT. Well, I shouldn't say surprise because I knew that it had a pretty substantial exhaust leak in this area, but I didn't know exactly what was causing it. So that's going to be a chore. That's probably going to be a week-long repair, just taking my time getting it undone, as well as waiting on the parts to come in. I've decided I'm going to try to find a replacement gauge cluster in a junkyard, and hopefully it's got similar miles. If not, I'm going to send it out to get reprogrammed. But I'd like to make sure that I've got a good gauge cluster that's going into that truck and start there from a good foundation, as opposed to sending mine out to have it repaired and find out, nope, the circuit board's cracked or some other unrepairable thing, and spend that money. So the plan is going to be get a junkyard one.